Good morning, Nebular. Woo, right? So the internet's all messed up, so I'm going to do this PDF style so that you can actually understand what I'm talking about. So first off, my name is Sarah. I'm the Director of Ecosystem for Regen Network, and today I'm going to talk to you about climate change. So climate change is real. When I was 19 years old, I went to Biloxi, Mississippi, where the Hurricane Katrina had come through. And I looked at the landscape where the waters had risen and had ripped out an entire city. My next experience with climate catastrophe was in Hurricane Sandy in Manhattan, when 11 feet of water came in and pinned down the city. It took them 9 months to pump the subways out. So this is maybe 8 feet tall. Can you imagine 20 feet of water? At Regen Network, what we're focusing on is building a climate impact stack. And our stack has 3 components. There's an application layer and an infrastructure layer. The first piece is the Regen registry. Our community is not a blockchain community. It's real-world foresters, it's farmers, it's climate scientists. And they work together to create scientific methodologies so that assets can be issued on the blockchain. These are carbon credits, these are biodiversity credits, these are water credits. And Regen Marketplace is a space in which all of our technology comes together insofar as corporate buyers, like Microsoft, can offset their carbon footprint in our marketplace. And in 2020, Microsoft offset 125,000 credits with us for their moonshot goal. Woo, right? Real climate change here, people. And so what we're also dealing with is that the infrastructure layer is custom built according to the Paris Climate Accord for global carbon accounting. What are you guys doing? How? Perfect. Okay, we'll work with it. It's fine. I don't know how to make it full screen. It's fine. We'll make it work. So on top of that, our infrastructure is neutral. We have this registry, we have this marketplace, we have this system of issuing assets. And so we've been partnering with registries from around the world to use our software. The City Forest Credits Registry is the US national standard for urban forestry protection and urban tree planting. And they use our software stack to issue their credits onto the blockchain. On top of that, our team has built a bridge for carbon, an asset called Nature Carbon Ton, which is tokenized Vera credits between Polygon and Regen Network. And what this allows is for cross-chain carbon to be issued across blockchains for the very first time. It's the only carbon bridge custom-built of its type. And why this is important is because we've been bringing liquid carbon to the Cosmos ecosystem. Because it is our hope that with a fungible, IBC-compatible carbon token, that you as the developers of the ecosystem will start to think about how you can program carbon into your dApps. At the end of the day, what we're trying to accomplish is carbon credit retirement for real-world climate outcomes. We're a community of climate scientists using technology, and so blockchain is our tool for data attestation, claims verification. It's about making information more public so the quality of carbon credits in the carbon credit market can become more alliterated and more accessible across the market. On top of that, we have our own custom registry. These are climate scientists from across the world developing some of the most innovative science. And this year, there's over 2 million brand new carbon credits from 40 scientific methodologies being issued on our blockchain. On top of that, we're the team that originally brought you the Cosmos SDK as its lead maintainers. So we have our app, we have our infrastructure, we have your infrastructure, and a bridge. So as you can imagine, our team's been busy for years. I was going to show you our marketplace, but the internet sucks. So if you go to app.regen.network and you go to the projects page, you can see all of the carbon projects that have already been tokenized. Scroll through a really beautiful project page. You can purchase credits, you can trade credits, and you can retire them for carbon accounting claims. If I had the internet right now, I would have showed you the Nebular Summit profile. Every user profile is public. It has customizable names, so it's not just some random chain of letters trying to figure out whose profile it is. And we partnered with the Nebular Summit today to figure out the carbon footprint for this event, and we've offset their footprint so that they can be carbon neutral. This is important to the community that we use these tools and that we take action. Ooh. Whoa, something's happening. Oh, our demo's working. We have the internet here. Unexpected. So this is RioSim. This is a Colombian forest preservation project. It's a tokenized Vera credit that came across that bridge we built with the Interchain protocol. You can see all of the environmental outcomes on the right-hand side. And every time you go on the app, you can always see the issued, tradable, and retired credits to always see what's going on with this particular asset. You can always watch the video. You can learn more about the information of the project. This is the credit batch denom, which tells you which credit class, which project, the times, and which issuance there is. So in this demo, we're going to buy credits in a tradable form and put them first in our wallet. So you choose from one of these sell orders. There's a number of different currencies to choose from. And you're basically transferring them in a tradable form to your wallet. If it functions. Got to approve our transaction. You always get this lovely sheet that tells you what you just bought. Make sure you got the right thing. And then you can basically go to your wallet. We're sending to Seb's wallet for the event here, 1 credit, and we're going to do it in a retired state. So this is where we're taking the carbon accounting claim, and retired means that we take it out of circulation. We're changing the state of the asset from tradable to retired on chain. We're going to take a location. We're here in Paris, the home of the Paris Climate Accord. Another confirmation page. And now we're going to go to Seb's profile for the event. So we only retired 1 credit. We're going to retire more because there's more than 1 ton of carbon we're using today. But this gives you a sense of how we engage with the app and how we provide you with retirement certificates that you can export out in case you want to send it to your mom or your cousin or your company, your board, people you know. It's pretty, right? Whoops. Go back. So, oh geez, this slideshow. So we've been running a campaign with validators across the Cosmos ecosystem for the last 2 years, and it's led by the validators. And what they're doing is they're quantifying the footprints of all the protocols across the Cosmos ecosystem. And what it's allowing us to do is to identify those footprints, use community funding, purchase and retire carbon credits. So these are all of the chains we want to congratulate today that as communities have actually already taken climate action here in the ecosystem. So if you're from one of these communities, we salute you. And this gives you a good example of a profile of what it actually looks like when your community offsets. And what's lovely about this is the Evmos community, for example, has offset their carbon footprint. You can transparently see that they retired 7,975 credits from a project called Mina Dombe. And Mina Dombe is a forest preserve in Cambodia, which has some of the world's rarest elephants. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of our real-world projects real quick, and then we're going to shift gears. This is the King County Urban Forest Project. It's one of the urban forest credits portfolio that has been tokenized onto our blockchain. They're preserving an urban forest that's under threat of development, that they don't want to have it turned into a shopping mall. This is Monte de Nero in Argentina. This is the first of the Regen registry credits. This is a soil organic carbon credit, and in the next 2 weeks, they're issuing 700,000 carbon credits. It's the first of a massive wave of credit issuance that's coming out of the Regen registry. And this is ERA Brazil. ERA Brazil is an old Red Plus developer that decided to create their own methodology with our tools. And this is going to be one of the world's first biodiversity credits. What they're doing is they're looking at the habitat of the jaguar. And this is Colchian Carbon Trust, which is a biochar land trust in the state of Washington. 100% of their first issuance of credits has already been sold to a major blockchain whose name I unfortunately can't tell you right now, but you definitely know who they are. And we're just getting started, y'all. We've issued over 500,000 credits. That's worth about $3.5 million. That Cosmos Zero campaign retired over 30,000 nature carbon ton credits, the largest single issuance wave of carbon credits in all of blockchain history. And then the 2 million credits being issued on Regen Registry, our new scientific set of standards. They're going to have all these credits come out this year, and they're worth over $21 million. Next year, it's going to be about 10 times as large of issuance, y'all. So our scientific community is expanding really, really rapidly. I'm going to shift gears for the rest of the conversation very quickly and show you something really cool. We're shifting our technology, and it's in governance right now, to be able to have a permissionless experience for credit issuance. What that means is that any community garden or a local community project will be able to use the tools that we use internally for yourselves. This is available already on testnet, dev.app.regen.network, so you can go on there and play around with these tools yourself. So we're going to make a credit, y'all. You excited? So this is Hilltop Urban Farm. This is our use case. I'm the designer of Hilltop Urban Farm. I'm actually a landscape architect and a former city planner. So this is the U.S.'s largest urban farm. Adult farmer training program, production orchard, youth farm, community farm plots, community garden, and this necklace around my neck has some of its soil. So today we're going to issue credits very quickly for our youth farm orchard. And this is what it looks like in real life, y'all. It's absolutely massive. But more importantly, here's its people, the people that actually benefit from the work in this space. So when I'm designing my credit class, I take my orchard. I map out what kind of trees there actually are where. Got apples, plums, cherries. And then I worked with the Penn State College of Agriculture to quantify the carbon outcomes because they were the research professors that chose the climate-appropriate rootstock for this area. And so I'm doing a very simple calculation as an example of how I can count up how many credits these trees have produced from like metric tons of carbon pulled out by the trees over the last 5 years. But to get this on chain, y'all, on DevNet, I gotta make a metadata schema, super cool. Gotta put it on CLI. And then I end up with this really beautiful page. It's basically alliterating all of the metadata that you have for a credit standard on the blockchain. And these are tools that you can use for yourself on testnet. This allows me, once I have a crediting standard, to issue a project. So here's the farm, here's the standard, and I issued the credits already. This is Miss Amy right here. So this gives you a real quick example of how you have a real place. You have real people. You're doing real things. And unlike a lot of the other projects you're going to hear from today, it's a lot of tech talk. We're a lot of people talk and a lot of place talk. Because at the end of the day, what we're trying to accomplish is we're trying to restore ecology. An ecosystem function is the interaction of all species in a place when we leave them alone. Because the Earth and its ecosystems are a self-regulating system. It's only because of our intervention that it has become destabilized. And I fundamentally believe as a human that we have a deep responsibility to take action. And so I've spent 15 years of my life building places that are restoring themselves because of the way that they are inherently designed. And I've spent the last 4 years at Regen Network trying to build a software stack so that anybody that builds a place like I build at Hilltop Urban Farm has the technical tools to engage with the market. And if you think about it at a fundamental level, this is a community project in a neighborhood that was distressed. It's a top 5 food desert in the city of Pittsburgh. This has quadrupled the amount of food grown in that city by one site. It's the single largest location to affect that city's climate action plan. And they should be able to issue credits for themselves. They should be able to design those credits because they designed that space. They work with their communities and they implement real-world land regeneration. This is the most important thing any of us are ever going to do. And so we really need to take a look at who we are as a community and invest into systems and tools that directly affect climate change. I believe we have both a moral obligation and a huge opportunity here. And so if you understand a lot of what's available right now in osmosis, there's all this liquid carbon, hundreds of thousands of tons. This community can program that into its dApps. We can come up with retirement aggregators. There's so many tools that we can alliterate off of this fundamental architecture now that we have done it. And I believe that if we don't do something soon, this is really going to get away from us. And ultimately, this is a room filled with people. Some of you have children, you have families, and it's only going to get worse if we don't do something. And so we're at a point where we're trying to make our tools more available to everyone, behave more permissionlessly, behave more ETH-like, give people the tools on a very small-scale basis, one little farm, one little city, one little town, that you can basically communicate what you are planting in the ground and how you want to approach it for yourselves. So as an ecologist and as a technologist, I really believe that we have to change our way of being. And all I really want from this community is for y'all to join us, because the rails are there, the stack is there, and there's an enormous number of projects issuing credits this year. At the end of the day, if we don't do something, it's going to affect all of us. And that's why we keep building at Regen Network, where we're building origination software, where we're bringing all of these projects into the pipeline from across the world. And so it's my honor and my privilege to create in this community of people who actually care about real-world change, the experience that people have in communities, and the experience that's happening on the ground. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.